Live from New Delhi, watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is Sports Buzz and I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next half an hour. India pulls off victory from the jaws of defeat in another thrilling contest against arch rivals Pakistan in Men's T20 World Cup 2024. Carlos Alcaraz is the new Roland Garros champion, outlasts Alexander Zverev in an epic 5-set showdown, becomes youngest man to capture Grand Slam titles on all three surfaces. India's tennis sensation Sumit Nagal virtually sealed his spot in the Paris by winning the ATP Challenger men's title in Germany. We'll first start with ICC Men's T20 World Cup underway in USA and West Indies. Well, India edged Pakistan by 6 runs in a low-scoring T20 World Cup Group A encounter in New York on Sunday. Chasing a target of 120, Pakistan seemed to have the game in the bag. However, the pace combination of Jasprit Bumrah and Hardik Pandya brought India back into the match with some sensational bowling. This story has more details about the thrilling match.
Jasprit Bumrah bowled a terrific spell as India edged past Pakistan by 6 runs in a low-scoring but tense T20 World Cup Group A encounter on Sunday in New York. Chasing a target of 120, Pakistan were cruising at one stage. They needed run a ball 47, but Bumrah turned the game on its head with some sensational bowling. Pakistan lost wickets in a heap to end at 113 runs in 20 overs.
First of all, very happy with the result that we got. And the biggest positive for us was the calmness, because when we were batting in the morning, there was a lot more help. And when we started bowling, the skies opened up and the ball stopped seaming and there wasn't a lot of lateral movement. So we had to be more consistent and more accurate. And we as a unit were very calm and very clear on what we wanted to do. So very happy that as a unit we were able to contribute and created that pressure, and then we were able to get the win.
Earlier, Pakistan owned the toss and elected to bowl on a 2-paced pitch where rain interruptions made things difficult for India. The Rohit Sharma-led side suffered a mid-innings collapse and were all out for an underwhelming 119 runs in 19 overs despite a gutsy effort from Rishabh Pant, who scored 42. Pakistan seemed to have the game in the bag. However, the pace combination of Bumrah, who took 3 wickets for 14 runs, and Hardik Pandya brought back India into the game.
It's a disappointing loss, that's for sure. I knew 120 wasn't going to be an easy target, because if India only got 120, it was always going to be not the easiest. But I think we had the game at 72 for 2, 6 or 7 overs left at that point. So disappointing not to get across the line from the position we got ourselves into.
The result moved India to the top of Group A with 2 wins from their opening 2 matches, while Pakistan have 0 points from 2 defeats following their upset by the United States.
Well, DD India correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to fans after the match. They were excited to watch a thrilling encounter between the arch rivals. Take a listen.
So Indian fans are absolutely excited with the win. It's a very close match. It was a close match.
It was a close match. The pitch is okay. However, it's played before those 2 matches. It was better than this match. India were short like 10-15 runs, but our bowlers got this. I'm damn sure that Rohit Sharma are going to lift the trophy in Barbados. 100%.
Definitely, India is going to win this one. And you know what? Amazing the way they played. We defended the game. Again, we have to beat Pakistan every time, and they kept the record intact. Go India!
What about you, sir?
First half was we are a little bit upset with the score, but in second half, like in the second half, we recovered and we bowled very well and feeling was very good. We one or two catches we dropped, but that's fine. But still we did great. India.
So what happened is that finally India won, but there are certain concerns, isn't it? India though kept its record of win in World Cup, but some concerns were there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Our batting has to improve a lot, and our that's the main reason.
Yeah, batting, especially batting. Actually, we need to.
The middle orders, I would say, like Shivam Dubey and how Ravindra Jadeja plays, those shots were not.
Together too.
So all the fans are saying that it's a batter that need to make themselves more accustomed to the condition and do better in matches to come. But they are very excited and very happy with the final result. India still manages to win even with the defending 120 run. With Kaposa and Shankar, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for DD India from New York.
India cricket fans celebrated their team's thrilling victory over Pakistan.
Okay, done.
All right, joining me on the broadcast is Malay Nirav. He is a sports analyst. Sir, thank you so much for joining in on the broadcast, first of all. India versus Pakistan. It has always been an interesting encounter, and such was the match yesterday, where there were loud cheers, and perhaps in some regions, television sets were also broken, perhaps.
Well, it's the mother of all battles, as you know, when India and Pakistan, they're playing against each other, whether you like it or not. And but yes, I mean, it was a low-scoring match, and nobody was expecting that it would be a high-scoring match on this kind of a pitch, which has been very well observed by the analysts and the team captains, and they all agree that it is not the right kind of pitch for this kind of a World Cup. But having said that, when you are playing an international game, and you are well prepared, then you cannot keep blaming the conditions and the pitch all the time. You have to go, show your grit, your determination. You have to stand there, and you have to face the ball as it approaches you or as it leaves you, both ways. So that is where I think both the teams have, though India have won, but I would say that the batters in both the team need to have some kind of an introspection as to what is going wrong after an early good start, which was good enough for India. If the wickets start falling, and then again you saw with Pakistan, when a run of ball is required for you to win the match, then you keep losing wickets, there is something terribly wrong.
Definitely. Sir, a lot has been talked about the pitch. The pitch is like this, the pitch is like that. How do you analyze the pitch? And especially after yesterday's encounter?
See, one thing can be said, that it is a pitch with very uneven bounce and very uneven seam. There's no doubt about it. And the reasons are pretty well known to the cricketing world. The grass which has been laid there has been got from Australia. And that grass is new. That pitch which has been prepared is not a very well prepared, not a rock solid hard pitch. So there it's very difficult. You can't just guess as to where is the ball going to come. Sometimes it goes past you, sometimes it rises unevenly above your shoulder. Sometimes it's very difficult for the wicket keeper.
So all in all, it's a very unpredictable pitch. This is what
very
you're trying
unpredictable
to say.
and a two-sided kind of a pitch, which is very difficult to play on. But again, I'll say that we just can't keep blaming the pitch all the time. You're an international team of the caliber that you are. Both of you are claimants for the World Cup. One Pakistan team is the runners-up of the last World Cup. You just can't keep blaming the pitch all the time.
Definitely. You put it out really rightly, sir. We cannot just blame pitch again and again. Two teams are going in the middle to play. You have to play. You have to show your skills. You have to display your prowess, and that's how you win these encounters, and especially yesterday's encounter, which was a nail-biting contest. But exceptional bowling by India's bowling unit, especially Bumrah, sir. We cannot deny that. How do you analyze?
Yes,
Okay. How do you analyze their skills in pressure situations and the way they delivered? Although every Indian fan was scared when Siraj threw that no ball and wide in the same over.
Well, but I will not criticize Siraj. You see, it's a 2020 game where passions are running high. You need to control your nerves. Sometimes you're not able to do that. But look at the overall runs that he gave in the 4 overs that he bowled. You will not blame Siraj for everything that went wrong in terms of the wicket. However, let me also tell you one thing. Bumrah there's one and only Bumrah. Bumrah, the best quality of this bowler is that he doesn't make any extra effort.
Yeah.
Having covered cricket for more than 30 years, I can tell you that any good bowler of this world who has to perform and has to have wickets in his bag needs to remember one thing. Any extra effort that you make to take a wicket can boomerang. And therefore, Bumrah knows it very well, and he plays his natural game.
Yeah.
He knows that when he bowls with the passion that he does, with the skills that he has, and with the areas that he chooses to pitch his ball, is where he says he knows it very well that the story will get over very soon.
Yeah.
You saw it with Babar Azam, we saw it. This is one.
All right.
So he was superb, excellent, and
All right,
very
sir.
well supported by Hardik Pandya.
I'll come again, but right now we've been joined by our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya, who's there in United States. Tapas, what do you think was the reason behind Pakistan's loss yesterday? You were there at Ground Zero. You were there in the stadium.
Right, there can be many reasons, but the first and foremost, I think, was their slow start in the power play. It was quite expected because they didn't want to lose early wicket, but the way they started off in the power play was something that they should have been careful about. In the power play, 6 overs, they lost 1 wicket for 35 runs. Whereas if you take a close look at India's power play, they had 50 runs for 2 wickets. And the kind of momentum that was given by Virat and Rohit in the first few overs, and then Rishabh Pant after that was one of the reasons why the Indian batters later on could take their time. But for Pakistan, they took time. They didn't score that much in the power play, and it was slow. Although one would say that till 12th over, the match was very much in Pakistan's hand. It was the wicket of Pakistani players, for instance, Fakhar Zaman and Mohammad Rizwan, in a matter of, let's say, a couple of overs that turned the whole match. Fakhar's wicket was taken by Pandya, while Mohammad Rizwan was bowled by Bumrah. That particular bowl by Bumrah probably sealed Pakistan's fate, because they were actually chasing the run rate. Even then, it was over 6.5. They had a close to 5.5 run rate, and once that particular wicket fell of Mohammad Rizwan, from then onwards Pakistan was always chasing, and Indian team tightened their noose around Pakistan innings, and at the end of the day it was India's calmness, composure, and the big difference was Bumrah.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why India could win this particular match. It's such a low score by a team defending is something that we have not seen ever. And 199 was the lowest total ever defended in the T20 Men's World Cup. So a lot of credit that goes to Bumrah, a lot of credit goes to the team manager, especially the way they rotated their bowlers. When the chips were down, the shoulder didn't follow through, the head didn't fell, and that's one reason why we see that at the very end, at the 19th over, Indian team came out triumph in this crucial tie. So kudos to the team management, and kudos to the way they have bowled in this second innings.
Okay, stay with us, Tapas. I'll come back to you. We've been again joined by a guest, Malay Nira, who's a sports analyst. Sir, I mean, we've talked about the pitch, we've talked about the Indian bowlers. We cannot ignore India's batting performance. How do you analyze it? How do you analyze it? Why do Indian batters succumb under pressure? And why do they always have a problem dealing with a left-arm pacer?
See, the problem here is that it's not only a question of succumbing under pressure, it is also a question of succumbing under pressure when the pressure is not there. When you've got a good start. And after that, you just need to keep scoring.
Yeah.
But if you're not able to apply yourself well, if you know that the ball is rising unevenly, it's an uneven bounce, you know that the wicket is not very friendly, then you play a few defensive strokes and you know that it'll be a low scoring game. You see, what Pakistan did initially, I tend to disagree with my friend Tapas. You know, they were taking it very easy. They were going slow because they knew that they had enough time. But there was a time when they had to score just a run a ball. And that was because of the nature of the game that they had at the beginning. Now here, we got a very good start from Rohit and of
Sir,
course...
very quickly, sir, where do they need to work upon now? Where do they need to work upon?
They need to work upon the application in which they just need to maintain their balance and the control on their nerves with pitch and the bounce, and they just need to concentrate on the ball and they don't need to do anything extra by going in for big shots. A run a ball will be enough, 2 runs.
All right, a run a ball would be enough, especially in a pressure situation. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in. Well, in another match, Scotland improved their chances of qualifying for the second round of the T20 World Cup after defeating Oman by 7 wickets as they moved to the top of Group B. Brandon McMullen's unbeaten 61 of just 31 balls steers Scotland to victory with nearly 7 overs to spare. The Scots scored 153 for 3 in 13.1 overs to win the match. Scotland's run chase had got off to a smooth start with George Munsey making 41 and Michael Jones adding 16 to it. McMullen then took charge of the game, finishing alongside Matthew Cross, who was 15 not out. Earlier, Oman scored 150 for 7 off 20 overs after opting to bat in bright conditions. Scotland face Australia in their final group game but are brimming with confidence after an impressive start to the tournament. And still to come on DD India Sports Buzz. Indian mixed martial arts fighter Pooja Tomar creates history, becoming the first Indian fighter to win a bout at the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We'll give you more details. You stay tuned.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Sports Buzz. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Spain's Carlos Alcaraz clinched his maiden French Open men's singles trophy on Sunday, beating Germany's Alexander Zverev in a 5-set showdown in what appears to be a new dawn in the sport of tennis.
Spain's Carlos Alcaraz clinched his maiden French Open men's singles trophy on Sunday, beating Germany's Alexander Zverev in a 5-set showdown. The 21-year-old now has become the youngest man to win Grand Slam titles on all 3 surfaces, hard, grass and clay, and just the 7th overall. The Spaniard outlasted the German with a 6-3, 2-6, 5-7, 6-1, 6-2 victory in a nail-biting match. The contest may not have been a classic, but the Spaniard showed that he belonged in the big league as he added a third Grand Slam title to his 2022 US Open and 2023 Wimbledon triumphs. After his maiden title at Paris, the Spaniard said, "Winning a Grand Slam is always special. Winning your first in every Grand Slam is always super special. But here in Roland Garros, knowing all the Spanish players who have won this tournament and to be able to put my name on that amazing list is something unbelievable. Something that I had dreamt about being in this position since I started playing tennis, since I was 5 or 6 years old." German fourth seed Zverev, who was looking to finally land his first Grand Slam title, presented a formidable opponent after a 12-match winning streak on the red dirt. But the 27-year-old's wait for the major title that he has long been predicted to win continues after his second defeat in a Grand Slam final. In the first men's Roland Garros final, not featuring any member of the big three, Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer in 2 decades, Alcaraz and Zverev failed to impress, their lack of consistency making for a disappointing display. Alcaraz often looked like he had got the upper hand only to let it slip several times, but he ultimately rose to the occasion against an increasingly frustrated Zverev. Alcaraz, who has suffered with bouts of nerves at the Roland Garros, where his compatriot Nadal won a record 14 titles, kept his composure despite some blips. Last year, Alcaraz was hampered by nerves in the semi-finals because he was overawed by his opponent, the incomparable Novak Djokovic. He had to overcome them again this year against incoming world number 1, Jannik Sinner, in the last 4. A new champion at Roland Garros is a rare thing. It means that the king of clay Nadal has now been away from the French Open title for more than 2 years. A Grand Slam that he has won a record 14 times between 2005 to 2022, as well as setting a host of staggering records which have not been matched at any other Grand Slam tournament. A new dawn has begun as the generation next is ready to take the centre stage. With Alcaraz, Zverev, Sinner, Ruud, Tsitsipas at the helm, the sport of tennis is in positive hands and is set for a smooth transition from the big three. Sports Desk, DD India.
And Ross Cullen joins us from Paris to discuss more. Ross, Carlos Alcaraz, a name everyone knows by now in the world of sport, winning a tournament, winning a Grand Slam on every surface. How do you analyze his match against Alexander Zverev, which he won in style?
It's something that we have not seen in the Open era since professionals started competing with amateurs in 1968, to be able to win a Grand Slam on all 3 surfaces at such a young age. Becomes the youngest person to do so. He will now be targeting surely the Australian Open in January next year to try to complete the career Grand Slam at the age of just 21, already with 3 of those majors in the bag. It was a good start by Alcaraz. We know that Zverev always particularly starts slowly and has done throughout the French Open this year. Alcaraz taking that first set unsurprisingly, Zverev dropping that set. He then played very well to come back and take a 2-1 lead, the German 4th seed, before Alcaraz saw out the match. A 5-set classic here at the French Open.
Definitely. Ross, now, this player is playing exceptionally well, amazingly well. Do you think it's too early to compare him with Rafael Nadal or, some other legends of tennis, Roger Federer for that matter?
Well, we can compare the standards that Federer, Nadal and Djokovic set when they were in their early 20s, but too early to tell. We would need to come back in about 10 years' time and see at the age of 31 if Alcaraz is well into double figures in terms of the number of Grand Slams that he wins. Numbers always talking: 24 for Djokovic, 22 for Nadal, 20 for Federer. The clear big 3 in terms of the last 10 to 15 years that we have seen that ultimate domination by those three players, particularly Djokovic, still trying to break free from his record that he ties with Margaret Court for 24 Grand Slams, wants to be out on his own at 25. So we will come back and see over the next 10 years or so how Alcaraz improves and if he is able to add more majors to his tally of 3.
Okay, and what up next for Carlos Alcaraz? You know, because he's been winning tournaments like anything. He also won Wimbledon and now this time around Roland Garros. How about, you know, next tournaments for Carlos Alcaraz? Do you think after these many victories, he'll be able to match up the records of the legends ahead in the tournaments?
So he holds 2 of the majors currently. He is the new French Open champion, and from 1st of July he will be the defending Wimbledon champion, trying to hold on to that trophy that he won when he beat Novak Djokovic last summer in 5 sets in London. He will not be going into that tournament as the world #1. That is going to be Jannik Sinner, who Alcaraz defeated in the semi-finals here, the new Italian, the current Australian Open champion. So we are likely to see perhaps this new crop coming through if Novak Djokovic doesn't recover from his knee injury in time to play. We know that Rafael Nadal likely to skip Wimbledon as well to focus on the Paris Olympics back here, Roland Garros in the summer. We could well see potentially another matchup between these new current crop, Alcaraz, Sinner, players like Casper Ruud, Zverev as well, with Daniil Medvedev as well. These new crop coming after that such prolonged period of success from the big 3.
All right, thank you so much for your analysis, Ross. India's top-ranked singles player Sumit Nagal won the ATP Challenger event in Germany, beating Alexander Richtstad of Switzerland in 3 hard-fought sets, 6-1, 7-6, 7-5, 6-3 on Sunday. With this title triumph, he will be entering the top 80 of the ATP rankings, making him eligible to compete in the Paris Olympics next month. India's mixed martial arts fighter Pooja Tomar has become the first fighter from the country to win a bout at the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Tomar achieved this milestone at UFC Louisville, where she secured a split decision victory over Brazil's Ryan dos Santos in a strawweight 52 kilograms division on Saturday. Debutant Tomar's bout ended with a score of 30-27, 27-30, 29-28 in her favor. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Sports Buzz. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching Sports Buzz.